Imagine this: a decorated police captain, a woman praised for her courage, adored on TikTok, addicted to likes and shares. One night, in front of flashing cameras and live-streaming phones, she decides to frame an innocent black man, an arrest designed only for clout. But what she didn't know was that this man wasn't ordinary. He was an undercover FBI agent. And when the truth came out, the entire city stood still. But how could this happen? How could a captain risk it all? Her badge, her reputation, her career, for a few viral clips? The answer lies in a story darker than you can imagine. The late evening sky draped itself in shades of indigo as the city's neon heartbeat pulsed. Police sirens wailed like restless ghosts, bouncing off brick walls and broken glass storefronts. It was a city of contradictions, one side glittering with promise, the other side drowning in distrust. At the center of it all stood Captain Darla Whitmore, decorated, charismatic, social media famous. She wasn't just a cop, she was a brand. Her TikTok clips went viral, dramatic arrests, motivational one-liners, clips edited with trending music. She wore her badge like an influencer's crown. But fame is an addiction, and like every addiction, it demands more. More stunts, more drama, more victims. Enter Elijah Carter, a quiet man mid-30s, always seen walking home with groceries, nodding politely to neighbors. To most, he looked like just another hard-working man. But Elijah wasn't ordinary. He was deep undercover, an FBI agent tasked with investigating civil rights violations within the local department. To Darla, he looked like the perfect target, a black man, walking alone, easy to frame, easy to turn into a viral victory. She had no idea. She was choosing the one man who had the power to destroy her empire. That night, Darla thought she was hunting prey. But the truth, she was walking straight into a trap of her own making. It started outside a grocery store. Elijah carried 2 paper bags filled with bread, milk, and fruit. The night was quiet, only the hum of a broken streetlight above. Darla's patrol car pulled up. Her eyes gleamed as if she'd spotted her next headline. She whispered into her radio, "Bring him in. Make it loud. We'll go viral tonight." Within minutes, 2 officers cornered Elijah. The cameras on their vests flickered red. Cell phones from bystanders lifted into the air. "Sir, stop right there. You're under suspicion." Elijah stood still, calm. "What suspicion?" he asked softly, his voice calm but firm. Darla stepped out, swagger in her walk. "This man fits the description of a shoplifter," she announced to the crowd. Elijah raised his grocery bags, still sealed, receipt tucked inside. But truth didn't matter. Drama did. Cameras zoomed in, phones live-streamed. Darla barked, "Put your hands behind your back." Elijah exhaled slowly. His inner voice whispered, "Stay calm. Let her play her game. Every second is evidence." Cold metal cuffs bit into his wrists. The crowd murmured, some uneasy, some entertained. Darla smirked, playing for the lens. But behind Elijah's silence, a storm was gathering, a storm that would tear her world apart. The holding cell smelled of iron and sweat. Dim lights flickered. Inmates shifted on their bunks, eyeing the newcomer. Elijah sat quietly, hands folded, breathing steady. He looked nothing like a criminal, and everyone sensed it. Whispers traveled through the cell. "Why's he in here? He doesn't belong." Darla strutted in, heels clicking on the concrete floor. She leaned against the bars, grinning. "Not so tough now, huh?" she mocked, making sure her bodycam was angled just right. Elijah's gaze lifted, calm and unflinching. "Captain Whitmore," he said softly, "you should be careful about the stories you tell. Sometimes they tell on you." Her smile faltered for half a second, but she covered it with a laugh. "Oh, I'll be careful. careful enough to make you my next viral star." What she didn't notice, Elijah had already activated a hidden device sewn into his undershirt. Every word she spoke, every order she gave, was being transmitted to the FBI task force monitoring nearby. He knew his team wouldn't intervene yet. They wanted her crimes recorded in her own voice, in front of witnesses, undeniable. Hours passed. Darla visited again, taunting him, threatening him, calling him a career criminal. She wanted drama, humiliation. She wanted her clip to explode online. But Elijah stayed silent, letting her dig deeper, letting her own arrogance write her downfall. What Darla didn't realize was that every insult, every false claim, every second of this so-called show was sealing her fate. Morning light poured through courthouse windows. Reporters gathered, microphones buzzing. Darla had called them herself. Today, she would unveil her big arrest. She dragged Elijah forward, handcuffs glinting in the light. Cameras flashed. She raised her chin, announcing, "Last night, we caught a dangerous criminal threatening our community. Justice has been served." The crowd murmured. Some reporters frowned. Something about this didn't feel right. Elijah lifted his head for the first time. His eyes met the cameras. His voice cut through the noise, low but commanding. "You're right, Captain. Justice will be served, but not the way you think." In the next few seconds, everything would change. A hush fell over the room. Elijah straightened his posture, calm but powerful. Slowly he slipped one hand from his cuff, unlocking it with a tiny concealed pin. Gasps rippled through the crowd. From inside his sleeve, he pulled a badge, gold, gleaming under the fluorescent lights. "Special Agent Elijah Carter, Federal Bureau of Investigation." The words thundered across the hall. Reporters froze, cameras zoomed. Darla's face drained of color. Elijah's voice grew sharper. "Captain Darla Whitmore, you are under federal investigation for abuse of power, falsifying arrests, and violation of civil rights. And thanks to your own arrogance, we now have hours of recorded evidence." Flashbulbs popped like fireworks. Reporters shouted questions. Darla stumbled backward, eyes wide. "No, this is a mistake." But federal marshals stepped forward, cuffing her with the same metal she had used on Elijah. The crowd erupted, half in shock, half in applause. Her fame had collapsed in an instant. Her viral dream turned into a nightmare. The hunter had become the hunted, and the whole world was watching. Within hours, the story trended nationwide. Hashtags exploded. News anchors replayed the reveal on loop. Darla's TikTok fame twisted into humiliation, her own clips spliced against Elijah's reveal, millions mocking her downfall. The FBI confirmed months of undercover work, exposing her corruption. Other victims came forward, families who had suffered under her false arrests. The city began to heal, finally seeing justice for years of abuse. Elijah, however, didn't bask in victory. For him, this was never about one corrupt captain. It was about protecting people from those who misuse power. And for Elijah, the mission was far from over. A week later, Elijah walked through the city streets one last time. The same streets where he had been framed now felt different, lighter, freer. His voiceover carried over fading scenes. Power isn't about the badge you wear, it's about the choices you make. Some use it for fame, others use it for justice. And justice always finds its way, no matter how long it takes. He disappeared into the crowd, just another face, blending into the rhythm of the city. But somewhere, another mission was already waiting. If you believe the truth can't be silenced, if you believe justice always wins, then subscribe now, hit that like button, and ring the bell. Because the next story we tell might just change everything you thought you knew.